Hey, what's going on there, youth pastors? Paul Turner here from the discipleproject.net. And today I want to talk to you about the thing that I regret the most in youth ministry. But not just my regret. There was actually a poll of older ministers when reflecting upon their lives, and they were asked to share, did they have any regrets? So I want to show you this article and go over it with you and maybe share some insights. All right, so here's the article from the Christian Post, Top 5 Regrets of Older Ministers when Reflecting on Their Lives. Number 1, I sacrificed my spouse and children on the altar of ministry. And yes, this is something I do regret. I did make some choices. I did in the past and in my younger days especially, made some choices where I felt like I should have put family first, and I did not. It was not until I had a conversation with my wife where my wife said to me, and this was early in our marriage, thankfully, she said, Paul, if it came down to ministry or me, I'm not sure you would pick me. And that stuck with me. And once again, I still made horrible choices. I still didn't get it all correct. But what it did do is it did tell me early on that I had a choice to make, that it wasn't just about making the youth ministry skyrocket and to, put all my time and energy into this. Thankfully, today, I have three beautiful kids, 2 sons and a daughter. My wife and I have been married for 33 years. My kids oftentimes come over to the house. We eat together. We still play games together. We still have a very solid relationship. And I am thankful to the Lord that I did not sacrifice them on the altar of ministry. Number 2, I put programs before people. Now, for me, this is also not a regret because I felt like I put people first. In fact, I'd be more successful if I put programs first. If I put the programs first, I'd be more successful. But because I chose people, the programs would suffer because I would choose people. I would do the right thing by people. And that's just blue collar me. That I think it's, once again, have I made terrible choices? Have I put programs over? Yes. But I would say on the whole, it's not one of my biggest regrets because I felt like I chose people. And because I chose people, I made people who loved the program more than people mad, which then put me in, hot water. Number 3, I spent most of my time attempting to nurture the whole church myself instead of concentrating on potential leaders. Totally understand. Now, once again, this is a perspective of people who pastored whole churches. I've never pastored a church, but I understand the sentiment here. You try to pastor the whole group rather than investing in a few. And once again, this is not one of my regrets either because I felt like I learned early on because I had good leaders who invested in me. So I had a precedent set for me that I'm supposed to invest in others. That's just normal. And yes, have I taken on roles and responsibilities that I shouldn't have? Have I tried to do things by myself at times? Yeah, sure I have. But on the whole, I think I've done a pretty good job of investing in others. And I think that's reflected here on the channel. Number 4, I never befriended young people. One of the things that I've tried to do with pastors that I've served under is I've tried to make sure that I've gone and introduced young people to them. It's a lot of times that pastors won't go and know young people in their congregation. So what I've tried to do is introduce them. If there's a new kid in church or if there's someone that the pastor doesn't know very well, I try to make sure that they get to know them because if that pastor gets to know that young person, then that young person, if they stay around long enough, couldn't get involved with the rest of the church. And I want that kid to know the pastor, the leader of the church, and not just me. And so I find this to be very sad that this was one of the regrets of pastors. If you're a pastor, get to know your young people. It's super important. Number 5, I raised up faithful church members instead of sons and daughters. And once again, not a regret of mine because if you've watched this channel for any amount of time, I've done a lot of videos on investing in young people and raising up those kids about discipleship. I mean, that's what this channel is really about. It's about discipling young people long term so that you are invested into their lives so that you're not just shipping them out, but you are carrying on with them. I've had kids become adults and then I take them back to camp with me to invest in the youth group again, because that's the kind of relationship I've had. I've done the weddings, I've done home blessings, I've done all those things and continue to carry on with students, even into their adult years and in their 30s. And so I'm extremely blessed in that way. And I feel like I do have sons and daughters in ministry, people I've either led to the Lord or that I've walked through life with and really invested them over the years. But once again, not my biggest regret. What is my biggest regret? Let me tell you. So what is my biggest regret in youth ministry? It's the fact that I think I stayed too long. Now, I say that, I regret it if in fact it was my decision, that if I did not take paths or opportunities that God provided for me to get out or move on or to go into another area of ministry, then yes, I regret my own stupidity. I regret missing the signs. I regret all of those things. But I made a commitment to the Lord when I was 17 years old that says, Lord, I will do youth ministry for life. Now, clearly, he took me at my word, and I have taken him at his word. And so if I am in the will of God, I don't regret being in the will of God. I don't regret being I'm turning 56 this year. So I don't regret being a youth pastor now, which I am. I'm still a part-time youth pastor, still investing in young people, still hopefully investing in you. Some of you that are young people, you guys, I hope, are my sons and daughters in some way as well. And that if you've been with this channel for any amount of time, if I've invested into your youth ministry, then yay. If I've invested into you, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to be able to meet you in heaven someday. And you say, Paul, I used to watch your YouTube channel. You were super encouraging. Great. That's what I'd want to hear. And of course, you're always welcome to leave comments. If I have made an investment in you, then feel free to go ahead and make a comment down below. But yeah, that is my regret, that my decision, if I stayed in it too long, if I did not take a route, if I did not take the option of something the Lord put in front of me, if I missed a sign, then yes, I regret it. And so no regrets if that is the case, that I am here by the will of God, doing what I'm doing, investing not only still in young people, but leaders like yourself who are working with young people. And I hope that you never have any of these regrets. I hope that you are learning from this video some of those regrets and you can avoid it. But I'd like to hear from you. What are some of your regrets? Do any of these regrets ring true with you? Leave me a comment about that down below. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a part. I hope that you did not regret watching this video. And if you didn't, go ahead and click that thumbs up button that tells me you like the video and you want more of them. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good day, everybody.